All right. This lesson is going to be a little bit simpler. It's just an intro lesson to something called completing the square. And it's going to help us write equations for circles in different forms or understand equations for circles better. But it's going to go back to just some basic Algebra 1 stuff that I think will seem pretty straightforward. So let's remember what this square quadratic means. So what does this little 2 right here mean? It means we have the same factor twice. So if I want to find out that product, you can use an area model. You don't have to if you already have your shortcuts. But the area models are going to really help with completing the square. So actually, I want you to go ahead right now and take a minute, pause the video, and make sure you know how to find out the insides of this area model before I do it. Okay, so this first box, x times x, that box will give me x squared. Okay, x times 6, that box is 6x. And because it's a square, those boxes are the same. And then last but not least, 36. So when I want to simplify my answer, x squared plus 6x plus 6x plus 36. We're always wanting to combine like terms. So these are like terms and I can combine them. So my product is x squared plus 12x plus 36. So that should just be a basic review. The important thing to know, what makes it a square, is that both factors are the same. So a square means both sides are the same. Okay, so let's do another quick one. Why don't you guys, this will be example 2. Why don't you guys copy this one down? This should be quick. We reviewed it a little bit at the start of the year. Take a minute, pause the video, find out what this product will be. All right. Hopefully you guys paused the video and tried it. I'm going to do it, but I'm not going to take too long because these ones should be quick. If this is feeling tricky for you, then I definitely want you to come to office hours. So that should be 4x squared. The negative, so negative 5 times 2x is negative 10x. And since it's a square, those boxes are the same. And then make sure you pay attention. A negative 5 times negative 5 is positive 25. So because we're looking at squares, these two diagonal boxes, are always going to end up being the same as each other. So when I write out my expression, I'm going to get 4x squared minus 10x plus 25. When I combine these like terms, I'm going to end up with 4x squared minus 20x plus 25. Okay, so that's the key, is just taking the factor, repeating it twice, finding the product. For completing the square, now I'm going to give you some missing information, and you have to figure out what goes inside the box to make a square. So let me write that question down so you guys can think about it. So this will be example 3. So the question is, what number do I need to make a perfect square? Okay, so I would write that question down because that's going to be the question we're going to ask ourselves a bunch as we're completing the square. So let me start setting up my box. This time I know my inside and I want to find my outside. So I know these two sides are x, and then I know these two boxes together have to add up to 6x, but they also have to be the same box. So I need two numbers, or I need two of the same numbers that add to 6. So hopefully you're already realizing, oh, that's just half of 6, right? So these boxes both have to be 3x. So now what? Well, if those boxes are both 3x, then I'm going to need these two sides to be 3. So what does that mean for my last box? Well, 3 times 3 means I need 9 right here. And so 9 is the number that I need right here that gives me a perfect square. So when I put 9 right here, and I can see both sides of my square are x plus 3. So x plus 3 squared gets me x squared plus 6x plus 9. So we're going to do 3 or 4 more of those because they're kind of quick. And hopefully you guys will notice the patterns on your own. So why don't you go ahead and copy down this example, pause the video, and see how far you can get before I work it out. So this is example 4. Okay, so copy this down, pause the video, and try to figure out what number do we need in that box to make our perfect square. All right, so let's start with the easy part. That's going to be x squared, which means I know I have x and x. And then I need these 2 diagonal boxes to make 20. So all we're going to do is just divide that 20 in half, right? So to figure that out, I'm going to do 20 divided by 2, which is 10. So that means each of these boxes is 10x. So last but not least, if I find 10 times 10, that will tell me what I need in that box. And so I need 100 right here. X squared plus 20x plus 100. And that's the same as x plus 10 squared. Okay. Why don't you guys try this one? See if you can figure out how the negative is going to change it. So which example are we on now? Example 5. Okay. So see if you can figure out how the negative will change it. Pause the video, try to work it out, and I'll do it in a quick second. All right, so I start with x squared right here, and then these 2 boxes have to add up to negative 12. So I'm just going to do the same thing. If I just divide negative 12 by 2, I get negative 6. So the only difference is that these 2 boxes are going to be negative 6x. So how does that change my final answer? Well, what's negative 6 times negative 6? It actually still comes out positive, right? Because a negative times a negative is a positive. So negative 6 times negative 6 is still positive 36. So I have 36 right here. The only trick is you need to remember inside your square that it has to be negative 6. I'm sorry, inside your factors. So each factor is x plus negative 6 times x plus negative 6, and that gets us my square. All right, I'm going to do 2 more that just have a slight difference to them, but it's still the same concept. So see if you guys can copy this one down and try it. Example 6. So the difference here is that I have 4x squared right here. So it's actually kind of a big difference, to be honest. Let's take a minute and think about it. So what's going to make 4x squared? It has to be the same number both times. Well, it's basically the square root of 4. So I know 2x times 2x equals 4x squared. And then these boxes, again, just like always, have to add up to 12x. So just like all my other examples, I'm going to divide 12 by 2. But this time, I'm not just going to put 6 right here. I'm going to ask myself, 2x times what gets me 6? Well, that's just going to be 3. And so to find my final box, 3 times 3 gets me 9. So my factors are 2x plus 3. Okay, I'm going to have you guys just do one more just to challenge yourselves. If it's feeling overwhelming, you can stop. But try to see if you can do this last one really quick. Example 7. All right, hopefully you tried it. 9x squared. So what do my sides have to be? 3x and 3x. Those 2 sections of the area model have to make negative 30x. So I'll divide by 2. So those are both negative 15x. So this is where you just have to think for a minute. What times 3x gets me negative 15x? Well, it has to be negative 5. Negative 5 times negative 5 gets me positive 25. So I need to put 25 right here. And then my factors are 3x plus negative 5. All right, so make sure you're ready to do a few more examples like that. We're going to apply this to circle equations sooner. So you have to understand this really well since we're going to build.